Welcome to our house. This is the Screenplay Podcast. Thanks to everyone who tuned in for our first episode last week. I'm your host, Evan Grenis, and with me, as always, is PGA Tour player Andrew Novak.
Yo, what's up? Glad to be back for a second week.
Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Screenplay_podcast. We're dropping new episodes every Wednesday. So, Andrew's on the PGA Tour, as we know. Where are you this week?
Jackson, Mississippi.
And what what
Uh,
what
you know,
tournament you playing in?
we're playing the Sanderson Farms Championship, so kind of slumming it this week. Got the on the road set up, but we're trying to make it work here.
So on tour, like how talked about is the NFL and fantasy when you're playing on Thursday and Friday and you got other guys in your group? Are you guys talking about this type of stuff out there?
Not necessarily NFL today, but I played back nine with Cody Gribble, and I think we spent 8 of the 9 holes talking Texas Oklahoma Red River rivalry. That's coming up this weekend. So yeah, football definitely, especially in the fall, gets talked about probably more than golf.
Yeah, I mean a lot of the guys are from the South, so probably a big topic out there.
Definitely.
So let's get into the games. Monday night, Giants lose 24-3. They get absolutely killed. Daniel Jones sacked 11 times, running for his life. Uh, Dayball is pissed. He's throwing tablets at Daniel Jones. What did you see out there?
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. He needs to go get 5 more tablets and throw them at the O line as well. Uh, yeah, it was ugly. The Giants are bad. Um, the Seahawks looked pretty good, but man, it really did not take a whole lot from them to just kind of beat down the Giants.
No, I kind of like what Seattle's done. I mean, they've built a team that's not Geno dependent. I mean, I feel like they don't ask them to
Yeah,
do a whole lot, and Pete Carroll's doing a great job with the young team that they got there now.
yeah, they look pretty good. They're in a tough division. I think the Rams are a little better than we maybe thought, and then obviously
Yeah.
San Fran. But yeah, Seattle's doing good things. They have good weapons around him. He doesn't have to go be a hero. He can just kind of play his game. And the defense, if they're going to play like that, if that pass rush is going to be like that, then yeah, absolutely, they could be a serious team come playoffs.
I mean, what do you think they do with Daniel Jones? I mean, you can't. It's not working. It's not working. Like
Just
you
give it a
just paid
weekly
him.
segment. What do we do?
No, I know, but like it's not working. I mean, you can.
Yeah,
There is a market for him out there if they want to deal him, but I mean, they're not going to get what they want for him. But like at this, how it's going, it's you can't keep this guy for the next 4 years.
I don't. I honestly, with that contract, I'm not entirely sure there is a market. Like,
I
what
mean,
what do you do?
Trey Lance had a market.
Yes, but Trey Lance doesn't have a $40 million a year contract.
Yeah.
He's on a rookie deal. There's no it's a low risk move to take him. Daniel Jones, that's not a low risk move. That's just dumb in my opinion. There's nothing you can do with that contract. You're just stuck. I don't know. You just kind of, if you're the Giants, you just have to hope he turns it around because you paid him. You're stuck with him.
It's not looking good. No. Miami versus Buffalo. Miami's defense
We got
is
stuff to
not.
do. We got to talk Thursday night. Lions, Packers.
You want to do Thursday night? Okay. Lions Packers Thursday night, 34-20. I don't think that score is even indicative of the game. I think that the Lions could have won by more, should have won by more. How legit are the Lions?
The Lions are playing Dan Campbell football. They just flat out tough Green Bay in Lambeau. It's their defensive line dominated. Their offensive line was pushing them up and down the field. It was impressive. The Lions are good. They are absolutely embodying their head coach, and they're playing tough, hard nosed football, and it's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, last week you said you liked golf. And I
I
mean, we can
do.
see that why now. Yeah. Green Bay
Yeah.
or the Lions have won the last 4 games against Green Bay. So they're owning them right now.
Yeah. It's I like Goff. Again, I think he kind of falls in the Geno category where he's not being asked to do a whole lot right now, but he's distributing the ball pretty well. I think he just had that really long streak snapped of no interceptions, or I think it was no interceptions.
Yeah, it was
I
like
can't
first
remember
play of the
exactly
game,
how
he
long.
kind of threw one
Yeah,
off there, but came back.
but
Yeah.
you know, he's been for the most part, he's taking care of the ball. He's got the ball to guys like Laporta, Amon Ra, Gibbs when he actually gets to play. And now they're going to get Jameson Williams back, so that's a guy that can stretch the field and open things up underneath. I think this offense is only going to get better, and that defensive line is, well, maybe just Aiden Hutchinson, but the defensive line is pretty freakish.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at their schedule coming up here. They got Panthers, Bucks, Ravens, Raiders, and then go into a bye week. I mean, in all honesty, they're probably going 6-2 into the bye week,
That's
and
yeah,
that's a
6 and
strong.
2 at worst, probably. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they got to be the favorite to be taking that division home right now.
yeah,
Let's talk about
yeah.
Jordan Love. Last week we thought he was pretty good, and then we watched him this week, and I'm not sure what to make of him. In his first half passer rating over the season has been 66, and the second half passer rating is 104. I mean, you got David Bakhtiari out, so that's been a little struggle. But what are you making of Jordan Love?
The offensive line didn't give him a whole lot. Uh, I think when I watch him play, he does things well. He does things that I like to see a quarterback doing. He is starting to use his legs a little bit more. He makes some good throws, has some good timing passes. His timing appears to me best with Dobbs, throwing some out of when he's coming out of breaks, and they look good.
Yeah, the past 2 weeks
I
they've
think
connected well.
losing their tight end hurt early with a concussion, Musgrave. Um, I think that was in the first half, and he, you know, he was out for the game after that. That definitely, with, you know, Watson just kind of getting back into it, I think they were hoping to lean on a few other guys, but I think he's pretty good. I don't know, you know, I'm not sure he's like a Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, but he's absolutely a good quarterback with good tools, and he hasn't started a ton of games in his
Yeah, I
career.
think
I think
that's the
he's
thing.
still
I
kind
mean,
of feeling it out.
he sat for 3 years, so I think
Yeah,
we just got to see some more starts out of him before we
yeah.
really make like a
I
judgment.
do like, I absolutely do like flashes that I see from him, though. He has talent. He's got a good arm. He uses his legs, so I think he could be a fun player, especially once, you know, all his weapons get a little bit healthier.
Yeah. All right, now let's get into that Miami versus Buffalo game. Josh Allen is special. I mean, he tore up Miami's defense. There wasn't a thing that they could do to stop him. I mean, he's better than anyone that Miami has on defense. He's 10-2 against the Dolphins. He's basically a part owner of the team.
Yeah, there you go. No, he's unbelievable. I thought that Miami was going to be able to score a bit more and kind of keep with them because early on it was kind of back and forth, and they just lost. They lost pace, and yeah, Josh and the Bills did not stop marching down the field, hitting digs, hit Gabe Davis on the first one, but it was very impressive. Ken Dorsey called a great game, and yeah, Bills look like the team to beat in that division now.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Miami's offense is great. They're creative, they're fast. But I think they're like a good regular season team. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
this type of play can take you deep into the playoffs when you're facing really good quarterback play. Someone like Josh Allen. I mean, he's tearing up that defense. It's just not going to hold up when it comes playoff time.
yeah, it's a little unfortunate. Miami's got a few defensive injuries. I mean, they really could use, you know, a guy like Jalen Ramsey, guys being healthy, some playmakers on that defense, because if they flip, you know, one or two turnovers, if they get two extra possessions on you in a game with that offense, it's pretty much over. So
Yeah.
they're definitely missing those guys. But yeah, I am interested to see if this is kind of more of, like you said, a regular season kind of put up the big numbers, and then the playoff games when everything slows down and gets more physical, how well it kind of translates.
Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing. Um, Patriots versus Cowboys. I mean, I'm a Patriots fan. It's who I root for, but I was watching this game against the Cowboys, and I've been so lucky over my life to see Brady play and the Patriots dominate. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, this is what it's like to be your average NFL fan, watching a team struggle, have a terrible quarterback, and take some terrible losses. I mean, it. I kind of understand it now. It doesn't feel great. Mac looks terrible.
He's yeah, it was not good, but that's
He
because he's not the best quarterback on the roster. They need to get Bailey Zappi in the game. Give that man the keys. Let him run it. I am all on the Bailey Zappi train. I need to see it. If it doesn't work, then yeah, go get your quarterback next year.
they had that running last year for a couple of games when he was
Dude,
playing, but
I'm all for it.
I don't know
Give
if
me
that's the
Zappi
answer
time.
either.
I am fully on the bandwagon. I love that man back at Houston Baptist COVID year, putting up numbers. Gets at Western Kentucky and goes crazy. I've loved watching that man since back in college. So I want to see him get his chance one more time. Run it back. But yeah, if the Patriots were bad, you
I
can't
think this is
score
it for.
three
I think
points in a
this is
game.
it for Mac. I
Yeah,
mean, he has bad fumbles, bad picks. Over the summer, he's seeking advice from outside the Patriots facility. They don't like that, and now you got these things coming out with cheap shots.
yeah, it's been a rough couple weeks for him for sure.
I think the
Yeah,
Patriots got to
I
take a
don't know.
QB in this draft. Even if they're somewhere in the top 10 picks, I think you got to take a QB.
Yeah, it's kind of looking that way, unfortunately.
Do you think this is a Belichick thing at all?
I don't know. He like didn't even have an OC last year. I don't know. Like I'm not sure he's entirely setting his guy up to succeed. I would love to see him go out and get a younger mind that maybe has some innovation with his offense. Mac throws a good deep ball when given time. I mean, they have guys like Devontae Parker that can go up and get the ball. I I don't know. I don't know if they have enough in that offense to be a great offense, but I'd like to see him maybe try.
I
It's
mean,
kind of been
yeah, I
two
mean,
yards, 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
I'm hearing a lot of talk of Belichick on the hot seat, but I just think with all they've done over the past, 20 years, I don't think it's a real talk. I mean,
No.
Belichick's also
I mean,
17 wins away from the all-time record. So
well, at
that's
this rate, that'll take about 6 years.
at this
So
rate, yeah. I mean, maybe it takes 3, 4. Will Belichick be a Patriot long enough to be around for that?
I they can't fire him.
I don't
Let
think
him
so either.
end it on his own terms. Let him, even if it's a rough couple years. The Patriots fans, if they take some losses, they absolutely should allow Bill to go chase down that record and get it. Um,
I agree.
he gave plenty enough to the city to the area that
Yeah, I don't think
definitely
he
deserves a little
I don't think his seat is as
personal
hot
time.
as other people are
No,
making it.
no.
All right, so Bears versus Denver. Bears go up big. Denver comes back, but then we got an interesting call here in the fourth by Eberflus. It's tied 28 all. Bears have a 4th and 1, and they go for it, and they don't convert it. I thought there was a lot wrong with this play. I First of all, you got to keep the ball in Justin Fields' hands if you go for it. I think that was the number one mistake. But I don't like going for this in general. You're tied 28. You don't have a win on the year. Let's get 3 points here, get a field goal, and make Denver go down and try to tie it or win it. But just giving Denver the ball back there and allowing them to go down and score a field goal to win. What are your thoughts on going for that 4th and 1?
Yeah, I actually disagree with you. I don't hate the play because there was, I think, right around 2.5 minutes left
Yep.
uh, when they went for it, and I'm guessing that's not an Eberflus call. I'm guessing that's they're looking at their card, their percentages card, because if you get that first down, you can start running a lot of clock. Even if you end up kicking a field goal later, the amount of clock, the timeouts you can burn, it greatly increases your chance of winning. the game. It's
Yeah,
1 yard.
I do get the
Like
percentage play. Like if you get it,
I,
your
I do
percentage is
I
higher of
do
winning.
think,
But
yeah.
with
Now,
being
obviously,
0
it
and
looks
4 on
bad.
the, yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I think you got to give Fields some points there, make them feel good about themselves. Not converting that and then losing the game that way doesn't feel great. I mean, I guess we're separated on that call there, but
Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, you also got to Denver had kind of started marching up and down the field at that point. They had just made their, this was part of their comeback, and uh, their offense was starting to move it a little better. I think he was trying to, take the ball out of Russell Wilson's hands and just basically get the first down and sit on it and win the game right at the end. I mean, I understand the logic. It's just unfortunate they couldn't get the 1 yard.
yeah.
I mean, bottom line, it comes down to that. If you can't get a 4th and 1, you probably don't deserve to win the game. So I absolutely get going for it. It's just, the Bears just have been on the wrong side of all those winning opportunities, winning plays they could have had this year.
Yeah, I mean, I like taking the points there, but I guess that's where we differ on it. Denver gets their first win. Russ now has 9 touchdown passes this year. Last year, it took him 14 weeks to hit that mark. So Russ is playing better. But Denver's defense is terrible. They
It's
can't
bad.
stop anybody.
I don't know. I was talking with some of my friends. I don't know what's worse, giving up 70 points to Miami or allowing Justin Fields to start 17 of 17 or whatever he was. Like,
Oh,
both
that
of those are truly atrocious. Like, that should never be happening for a defense ever. So, yeah, they got some stuff to clean up. I am not shocked that Evero left that place. As a Panthers fan, I had no idea why that guy left for a lateral move to come to Carolina. Yeah, now I get it. They are terrible over there, and he did not want to be coaching that unit up. So yeah, it's been rough for them. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel for that defense. I think
no, I
if you
think
got
this.
guys in fantasy, get them in the lineup against Denver going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sean Payton he came into this knowing it was going to be trouble. It's kind of like you bought a house, it's a fixer upper. You think you got to spend maybe 50, 100 grand to fix the house, and turns out you're spending 3, 4 years to fix it, and you just dropped $500,000. I mean, there's a lot more to fix than what he thought coming in.
Yep.
Another similar situation in the Chargers versus Raiders game. So Chargers are up 7 and they go for it on their 4th and 1. From 4th and 1, they go for it on their own 34 and they don't get it. This is the second week in a row they've done this and they've not gotten it.
Yeah.
Luckily they've gotten a win both times. But what do you think of Brandon Staley's play calling here? I mean, it's a very similar situation.
Yeah. Staley's been a pretty aggressive
Yeah,
head coach in
he
these
goes for
situations.
these.
He does go for it, and I don't know. They just I don't know. I don't know why they haven't gotten them. I guess they haven't gotten into the right plays, but they still managed to win. I honestly disagreed more with what the Raiders were doing after they got the ball. They started running down the field like trying to. They were in hurry up, and there was still like 2 minutes left. Like even if they don't throw that pick on the goal line, they would have given Justin Herbert like a minute 45, 2 minutes left when they
Yeah.
scored. Like they still would have lost the game. Like I don't know why they weren't trying to sit on the ball a little bit more once they got it.
I mean,
Um,
this is another one where I think you got to punt it away. I mean, I got some more conservative plays here than you do, but
yeah, I
Herbert's finger got busted up, and you're going for a QB sneak with that busted up finger. The Raiders are playing with a backup quarterback.
Yes, and that's where I agree with you on this one. I think with the backup quarterback in that situation, I do agree. I probably might have punted the ball in that situation and forced the rookie to go 80 plus yards or whatever he would have had to go.
Yeah. So the
Um,
Raiders, I mean, they come down the field a little bit, and then they get the Chargers get a pick, but I mean, there was a lot of time left on the clock, like you were saying, and he just goes down with it like there's
Well,
30 seconds left.
if
He
you
had
watch,
a
Staley's on the sideline telling him to go down.
dude,
Like,
Staley is he's oh
oh my
gosh.
goodness.
He's waving his arms over there like go down, and he's got a wide open field. If he doesn't go down, at 90% chance he runs that back for a pick six.
I think he absolutely could have scored it. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not really sure. There's definitely a time and place where you tell the guy to get down.
Yep.
That I don't think that
That
was
was
it.
not one of them. No.
Whatever. I don't know. It's a roller coaster for the Chargers. It's kind of blind leading the blind there, but I don't know. They got the win at the end of the day.
And then another interesting note of that game. So Herbert hurts his finger. I guess he either fractured or broke his middle finger after throwing a pick. So it kind of raises the question, when a QB throws a pick, should they ever try to tackle the player? I mean,
Uh,
I get that you want to seem
yeah,
like the tough guy, you want to help him out, stop the player, but you're the most important player on the field and they need you. I feel like when a quarterback
I mean,
throws a pick, get out of the way.
yeah, yeah. There's time and a place. Um, fourth quarter late in the game, maybe if you gotta have it, but man, it's you really don't want to see your guy go down. I want to say Andy Dalton, maybe 10 years ago, I think might have broken his hand, broken a finger trying to make a play like that. It's just, I don't know. Did you see the Vikings 99-yard or sorry, the Panthers 99-yard pick six against the Vikings?
Oh,
Did
they
you see
decked Kirk Cousins.
did you, did you see Kirk trying to take an angle? I mean, he was on his own 15-yard line and he was beelining for the pylon. He knew all he had was the angle. Oh
Yeah, I
my
saw a
goodness, that
video of
was
that.
hilarious. And then yes, he got
It
laid
was
out at
like
the end. But
26 on the Panthers sprinted downfield so he could bust Kirk Cousins.
Kirk
Yeah.
Kirk threw the pick, turned around, looked at the pylon, and just started sprinting like he was going to cut that man off. I don't know what he thought he was doing there, but yeah, that one. Sometimes you just got to let him go, get him next
Yeah.
play.
Commanders and Eagles. Game goes into OT. Eagles get the win. Commanders tied the game up with no time left. Now they are a road dog in this game. Should they have gone for two and try to end it there?
I saw I saw comments from Coach Rivera that he was worried because his offense was tired
I saw
because
that too, but
they had just marched down the field. But doesn't that mean the defense is tired too?
yep.
I was I was a little confused by that.
If
I
the
think the
offense is tired,
Commanders,
you got to imagine the
yeah,
defense is probably more tired.
I think the Commanders have a lot of ways they could have gone with a play call like that. They got a good tight end. They've got some multiple good wide receivers. I think you give your guys a chance to go win the game. Absolutely. Um, I probably am going for two there.
I mean, you bring the two teams
But
into
I don't know.
overtime, the better team normally ends up winning. I think as a road dog there, you got to go for it.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't disagree there, but it was still a great game played by them. I mean, they played them tight. They played them tough. Much better showing from them, especially after what happened to them the week before against the Bills. So
Yeah.
definitely progress there for Washington.
I think the Commanders are real this year. Bengals and Titans. Titans kill the Bengals. Bengals score 3 points for the second time this year. Is Zach Taylor on the hot seat?
I don't know. I don't know who their offensive coordinator is. I mean, yes, multiple people. The Bengals are entirely too good to look like this. I don't know what's going on over there, but they need to fix it. They need to fix it fast because they are the worst offense in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, they've spent money on the offensive
Nobody
line
beneath them.
too, and it is not looking good.
What is going on over there? I mean, I get Burrow's dinged up a bit, but there's no way that this is all just a calf injury. Like, there's no way him being dinged up a bit makes them this truly terrible
No,
at
no.
moving the football. I don't know what's going on, but it needs to get fixed.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they've turned it around in the past after slow starts, but this one doesn't feel the same.
Yes.
If things continue, I think Zach Taylor and that coaching staff will be changed up. Got too good of a team, like you're saying, to be looking like that.
Right.
And they're favorites this week against the
Hmm.
Cardinals. I don't know about that. We'll see.
Yeah. If they lose that game, oh boy.
Chiefs and Jets. So, I mean, Chiefs are blowing them out early. Jets come back. Zach Wilson played well, but when it mattered most, he drops the ball. What was this game more telling for the Chiefs or for the Jets as to who they are?
Um, I don't know. Honestly, I I really don't think it was super telling for either team. Both teams did not look like themselves. It was a very weird game where Mahomes looked quite bad. The Chiefs' offense looked pretty much terrible for 3 quarters, and Zach Wilson was out there kind of making plays and looking good. That was all backwards. I'm not sure if we're really going to be seeing that continue. I think it was just a weird, fluky New York night game. I don't know what happened, but it just felt weird. I almost went to bed at halftime, decided to stay up. I was like, probably 5 minutes in, Chiefs are going to score again.
Yeah.
Then I'll go to bed. And I just couldn't stop watching because nothing made sense.
No, but I think, I mean, Zach played well, Mahomes played bad, but I think the thing is here when it mattered most, Mahomes goes down the field at the end on a 7-minute drive and ends the game. And when it mattered for most for Zach at the end, he drops the ball. And that's the difference between one of the
I
greatest
was looking,
quarterbacks of all time and Zach Wilson.
I was looking at it afterwards. It just the math doesn't even make sense to me. The Jets gave the ball to the Chiefs in their own territory. Like Chiefs were literally in Jets territory with 7.5 minutes left, and then the Chiefs didn't score and never gave the ball back, and the Jets had 3 timeouts. How
Mm-hmm.
do you run 7.5 minutes of clock when they have 3 timeouts and a 2 minute warning and only move the ball like 40 yards? That doesn't even make sense to me. I mean, I know Mahomes is running back there and back around for a while trying to make stuff happen, but I have no idea how they burned so much clock. But yeah, the end of that game was wild.
Yeah. If you watched it, they showed Taylor Swift and Aaron Rodgers almost more than they showed the game.
Yes.
Um, do you think that Kelsey Taylor Swift thing is real? Do you think it's a PR stunt?
I don't know, but the NFL is milking the crap out of it.
They are.
It
I think
is
I think it I don't I
they're
think it's one
really
of the
leaning into
biggest
it.
PR stunts we've ever seen. I think the NFL is in bed with Taylor and they are really milking that.
Yeah, I don't know. It is kind of odd. They really were milking it though. Um, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long it lasts. But definitely got a lot of TV time for her.
Yeah. So you're a Panthers fan. They played the Vikings this week.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Um, yeah, Vikings won.
Mhm.
Let's just say that the Panthers end up with the first or second pick overall this year.
You making fun of me?
What's that?
Panthers traded that pick for Bryce Young. The Bears have it.
Oh, the Bears do have it. You're right.
Bears Bears own 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah.
Panthers don't. It doesn't matter if they lose every game because they don't have their own picks, so they're
Dude,
pretty
bro,
much
I'm
stuck.
struggling to watch Bryce. He is so small out there.
It's bad.
It's I think they may have messed up with that pick. It's early, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
don't
liking
know.
how it's looking.
Panthers have looked bad. Nothing's really working. They can't move the ball down the field. They can't really stop the run. It's been really ugly.
All right, so those were the games for the week. Let's get into our power rankings. top 10. Uh, I had some debate about putting this team in there at 10, but I did it anyway. I put the Chargers at 10. Their high powered offense. Their defense is questionable. Their coaching is questionable, but I mean, I'm watching them play and they're scoring a ton of points and the offense looks good. When Eckler comes back, I still think they'll be a top 10 team.
They have too many individual good players to not be a threat.
Right. At number 9, I got Seahawks. One giveaway all season, 16 sacks. We saw that they got a star corner rookie in Witherspoon who
He looks good.
went off last night and looks good.
He looks real good.
At 8, Ravens. They lead the NFL in red zone touchdowns. They went off against the Browns this week. I mean, Deshaun wasn't playing, but still killed the Browns. At 7, Lions won 11 of their last 14 games, fourth in overall defense, and 12 sacks in the last 2 games. At 6, we got the Cowboys. All of their wins have been by 20 plus points. They lead the NFL in third down percentage, and they lead the NFL in turnover differential. 5, Dolphins, number 1 scoring offense. Not great D, but they can win high scoring games and are the fastest team out there. 4, Kansas City, great defense. Mahomes has been the least sacked QB in the NFL. 21 or fewer points allowed in every single game. They still need a wide receiver, though. At 3, we got the Eagles. They've won 21 of the last 22 games. They can burn you over the top, or they can run the ball on you with Swift. They're looking good. At 2, we got Buffalo. Josh Allen's completing 75% of his passes. They're running the ball better. Josh Allen has fixed some of those dumb mistakes. And at 1, it's the 49ers. Highest graded defense. 14 regular season wins in a row. Christian McCaffrey is moving into the MVP race. 49ers at 1. All right, let's move over into fantasy. How was your week in fantasy?
It was pretty good. Kind of was given a freebie. My main league just by the guy not playing very well. Jefferson got in the end zone a couple times, so it was a pretty good week. Got the dub, and yeah, moving forward.
I took my first L this week. I dropped down to 3-1, so still second place overall. But yeah, who stood out to you this week in fantasy, player wise?
Christian McCaffrey is really, really good at football.
He's a fantasy cheat code.
Yeah, if you have him, you just never want to get rid of him. It is so fun having that guy on your team because he's never going to give you a stinker. He scored a touchdown. 16 games in a row.
I think it's
something.
13 or 14
13.
straight games.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, you're getting double digits every single week. Potential for massive breakout games like this past week. It's impressive.
Yeah. I guess my standout is Kyron Williams came in the place of Akers, got 27 points this week and all the way up to the 3rd ranked running back in fantasy.
Definitely looking like a league winner potentially. I'd be a little worried about maybe them trading for like JT or something like that, but outside of that, man, he's looking
back
like
off the pup list.
He could be the guy.
We don't know if he's staying with Indianapolis or not.
Yeah. If that doesn't happen, though, I mean, it truly could be Kyron all year, and if that's the case, absolute league winner right there.
Anyone last week that just busted to you? That's just not performing.
Debo, no catches, no targets.
Yep.
Don't know what that was about, but I'm gonna chalk that up to him being hurt, and they just used him as a decoy because that made pretty much no sense.
Yeah. Jordan Addison on the Vikings in the win got no catches as well.
Yep.
And then another player who's, not performing like we all thought is Jamar Gibbs. He's getting under 10 carries a week. it- I think people thought he would be a little more high volume, but we see Montgomery's going off up there.
I think I think Gibbs has his role, and that's what they're using him for. He's going to be the third down guy, a little bit of change of pace, and on those early downs and on the goal line, they're going to give it to Montgomery and let him just kind of pound it.
Yeah.
It's he's kind of just fallen into what Swift was doing last year. He's kind of close to that sort of level of volume, and he's probably been a little bit more efficient, but it's I don't know. It's kind of is what it is. And if you have Gibbs, you just kind of know that he's probably looking at 4 or 5 targets a game and maybe 6 to 8 carries.
If you have Joe Burrow as your quarterback, is it time to bench him? I mean, he is the
Uh,
31st ranked quarterback in fantasy. He got you 4 points last week. Do you just hope he's going to turn it around, or is it time to find someone else?
I mean, the only thing that holds me back from saying yes is if you drafted Joe Burrow, you probably didn't even draft another quarterback. So who else is out there? Now, if CJ Stroud is out there,
Yep.
if Anthony Richardson is out there, yeah,
I
go
don't
get
think
those
Anthony
guys.
Richardson's out there.
I I know. But I mean if you're looking like, oh, I gotta bench Joe Burrow and go pick up like Bryce Young and play him, or go pick up, Baker Mayfield like that. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to
Speaking
ride
of
with Joe
Baker,
and hope he turns it around.
the guy I was playing against this week had Deshaun Watson starting, so he had a late game inactive. This guy picks up Baker and throws him in, and Baker gets 23 points. So,
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Baker, he has played well.
yeah.
The Buccaneers offense has done a pretty good job of moving the ball down the field and scoring some points, but I'm not going to go start that when I could just keep waiting on Burrow, because the potential there, eventually it's got to kind of figure itself out, right, in Cincinnati. So
So let's move into the next week of fantasy. Who should people consider sitting this coming week?
So I was looking at there's actually quite a few matchups in the games I kind of like uh, the way they match up, but one that really stood out to me is Najee Harris versus the Ravens. Scares me. I don't like that matchup there.
I have that same thing down. I don't think you can start Najee.
That really scares me with that Baltimore defense. I really am not super excited to be starting Najee if I have him in that kind of matchup.
Yeah. Um, I've got I've got Pacheco down here. I think you got to consider sitting him. He had a great week point wise this week, but against Minnesota's D, don't see him doing a ton. And then Drake London down here as well. Desmond Ritter is struggling to throw the ball. They're playing Houston D. He's
Yeah.
been inconsistent. I think you got to sit him. If you got Russell Wilson on your team against the Jets D, might want to consider playing a different quarterback this week.
Yeah.
You got anybody else that you're seeing?
I've got one more in my bust category, but it's not necessarily if I have him, I'm playing him. But I wanted to note Tony Pollard this week is playing San Francisco. If you have him, you're playing him.
Yeah,
If you don't have him, he just had a week where he only scored about 10 points. Uh, he got a ton of volume, or he got his normal volume, but it just didn't really pan out. He's playing San Francisco this week, which is a very good defense. If he goes out and has another kind of half down game, I am going and getting him. I am seeing if I can get the owner to sell him. I'm gonna go try and buy low. That's pretty much the only buy low window you might get on him for the rest of the year.
yeah,
I absolutely think he's a top 5 player going forward with the volume he's got in that offense. So this could represent a chance to go get a potential league winner for you if his current owner starts panicking a little bit on maybe 2 down weeks. So
yeah,
that is something to note.
yeah. I agree with you there. Who are you looking at starting this week?
Oh man. All right.
You said you saw a lot of good
David
matchups.
David Montgomery. He is going to run for 700 yards and 14 touchdowns against the Carolina Panthers. It is going to be absolute, absolutely a bloodbath. I mean, Carolina,
So he's
Alexander
gonna he's gonna go for
Madison,
what, like 6 touchdowns in
Carolina,
2 weeks?
Carolina made Alexander Madison look like he could run the football. I, what are they doing in Carolina? It is so bad. But yeah, Detroit, they're going to be up all game. They're going to move the ball down the field. They're going to be in the red zone. I would not be surprised to see Montgomery having about 20 carries, around 100 yards, and two plus touchdowns.
Sounds like you might like them for the bets later.
Yeah, we're just gonna fade Carolina for the rest of the season. There we go.
um, I've got Gabe Davis down here on Buffalo. He's got 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Might be like a borderline starter on your team. I think you can throw him back in there in the lineup.
That's actually a decision I got. I actually do have Gabe Davis, and I'm kind of considering trying to see if I can maybe sneak him in this week.
Yeah. And then Romeo Dobbs on Green Bay has finally connected with Jordan Love. He's had 12 targets each of the last 2 games. So kind of a borderline starter there as well. If you got him, I think you can throw him in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm gonna add Brees Hall this week. He gets Denver. The Jets have not been great. It's not been super fun starting any of the Jets players, but they
No,
do
yeah.
have the Broncos this week. If there's ever a time to be excited to throw Brees Hall in your lineup, it is this week. I'm going to go Bijan Robinson as well. They're playing the Texans. Uh, there are not many games this year where Atlanta is going to be the home favorite. When you have running backs, especially workhorse running backs, guys you want getting the ball, you love finding spots where they're home favorites. That's always a good sign of when you might have a running back pop off. And against that Texans run D, I think he'll have some space and definitely could be a huge week for Bijan.
Yeah.
And then last thing I wanted to highlight too, any Chiefs and Vikings players you have, that is the highest point total on the slate. I am looking to get guys in my lineup from those teams. I know Addison just had a rough week. I can't wait to throw him back out there for this one. Some of the Chiefs wide receivers, you probably don't need to have them, but Travis Kelsey, um, Mahomes, I expect them to bounce back and this to be a pretty high scoring affair.
Yeah, I would think so. Uh, all right, so let's get into the gambling. Let's go over our bets from last week. So last week we both went 2-1. You took Rams money line, which hit, Vikings -3.5, which hit, and Cards +14, which did not hit.
Zach Ertz, just catch the football. Oh, that was a 3-0 week for me right there. Come on.
I went 2-1 as well. I took Bucks +3, Vikings -3.5, and I took the Browns. Didn't know Deshaun wasn't when we bet it. Deshaun was still
Yeah,
starting, so is what it
yeah.
is. I'm 11-5 on the year, so hitting at a pretty high rate right now. Let's go over the games and the lines this week. So Thursday night we got Bears at Commanders. Commanders are favored by 5.5. Sunday, another London game early in the morning, another 14 hours of football. Jags and Bills. Bills are favored by 5.5. Texans at Falcons. Falcons are favored by 2. Panthers at Lions. Lions are favored by 9. Titans at Colts. It's now a pick 'em. About a couple hours ago, it was +1.5 for the Colts or for the Titans. Giants at Dolphins. Dolphins are 11-point favorite. Saints at Pats. Pats are 1-point favorite. Ravens at Steelers. Steelers are getting 3.5. Bengals at Cardinals. Cardinals are getting 3. Eagles at Rams. Rams are getting 4. Jets at Broncos. Broncos are favored by 1.5. Chiefs at Vikings. Vikings are getting 5. And the late night game, Cowboys at Niners. It's going to be a great game. Niners are favored by 3.5. Monday night, we have Packers at Raiders. Raiders are getting 2 points. What is the most win game of this week on this slate? Who needs a win?
Uh, oh, I would say, let me look at this. Maybe as far as what it does for their season, I
Yep.
would say maybe Minnesota
Okay.
because there is such a huge difference between 2 and 3 and 1 and 4. But I can't get myself to put that in a must win category because it is the Chiefs and you're not really expected to win.
Yeah, I can
But
understand that.
if they win that game, I feel like that is really, really huge for them, especially with how good Detroit's looked in their division.
Yeah. I guess the Bengals is probably the most win game. You're playing the Cardinals. If you lose this game, the season is
That's pretty fair.
almost done. I think that's probably the most win game. So, what are your three bets of the week?
All right. So I've got Saints plus 1.5 at New England. I've got Bills minus 5.5 playing Jackson in London, and Eagles minus 4.5 at the Rams.
All right. So, I'm against you on one of them here. I have the Pats at minus 1.5.
All
I mean,
right.
I am a Patriots fan, but after the Patriots get blown out, I expect them to bounce back, even though they got a couple injuries on defense now. I think Max is gonna rebound. Pats minus 1.5. I got
That's a homer pick right there.
Yeah, I got Titans plus 1.5. It's down to a pick 'em now, but I took it a couple hours ago, and at that time it was plus 1.5. So Titans plus 1.5. Um, and then the Jets plus 1.5. They looked good last week, and I think the Broncos are going to struggle with their D, and I think the Jets get a win there.
I will say I was very close to taking the Raiders at plus 2, but I just don't know with that quarterback situation.
What is it?
Monday
Aiden
night.
O'Connell, or he looks pretty
He didn't
good.
look bad. He
No,
did not look bad, no. But
I don't know if he's a starter in this league, but he's
serviceable backup,
definitely
probably
a top
at a very
40
minimum.
top 40 QB in the league.
Yeah,
All right, so that concludes our second podcast episode. And good luck to Andrew this week at the Sanderson Farm PGA Tour tournament.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Go follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Screenplay_podcast. New episodes every Wednesday. Drop some comments, drop some likes. Let us know what you think.